Holy happy Monday to everybody tuning in. Book of Face, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. We're on everything there. Wherever you're chiming in, we appreciate it. If you're catching the show after we're live, appreciate you swinging by. Post live. If you're joining us live, make sure if you got any questions or anything you would like answered, anything cannabis related, feel free to drop those in the comments section while we're live. That's part of the reason we do this for you guys. Try to help keep education at the top of our list. We got Jill in the house. What's going on, Jill? Thank you for swinging by, beating Danny to the punch. Much love, much love. Ashley, I think, is having a issue or two with hopping on, so we'll give her a minute. I'll try to fill the airways in the meantime. Heath, how's it going? What's up? What's up? Hopefully, y'all had a great weekend. Let's get things started for this week. Always like to start the show with thanking the folks who make this possible. Our friends at Higher Love up there in the UP holding down the cannabis game. Love their organic grows. The fact that the fact that they get served their flower deli style. They got the new lineup of CBD dog treats. Well, dog and cats. All kinds of great stuff up there. If you haven't got a chance to check them out yet, make sure you do. We got a promo code up here for 15% off your purchase. That is one-time use. You can use it online or in store, though. Make sure you take care of that. Helps offset the cost of tax and driving. We've also got Ignite Dispensary when it comes to holding things down in Wisconsin. Our good friends at Ignite. We're proud to partner with them. Again, they're going to be across the map. Closest to us here in the Fox Valley is going to be over in Manitowoc. They're also going to be down in Milwaukee, up in Spooner, Hayward, Superior, and New Richmond. Higher Love taking the high road. Kudos to them, says Vibing in the Pines. Oh, boy. Let's go. Ashley is on her way. She asked if the link was sent. We'll give her a minute or two. Let's check out the news in the meantime, see what we got popping off over here. Jill says the hemp bill is a no-go. I didn't get a chance to do too much of catching up on articles today. I'll have to see if there's anything official. Always, when I log into Google, it just knows everything is cannabis. Well, I guess it's Facebook. All the socials and internet just know to get us the goods on cannabis. See what's going on out there. Looks like South Dakota's on their third try at trying to approve recreational cannabis. Looks like it made the ballot. Man, we're starting to see more and more states that are getting legalization on the ballot. I really hope that we're not too far behind, even though they say we can't do that here in Wisconsin. Hopefully there's a way to fix that. Let me see if Ashley, did you get link? Okay. Apologize here. Again, one day we're going to have like a studio on wheels. That'd be really cool. Then the guests, we could just have like a camper we pull up in, like a bus. Maybe that'd be cool. Maybe a coach bus. Then they don't have to worry about setting up the computer. I don't have to do it. All that stuff. Technology, it's great when it works, as we know. And it is neat to be able to interview and talk to guests all over the state and the country. We haven't talked to anybody outside the U.S. We should add that to the agenda. If anyone knows anyone, let me know. But no, it's really neat to be able to do this. Every once in a while we run into things, so I appreciate you guys being patient. Ashley will definitely be worth the wait when it comes to touching on anything cannabis and hemp. So back to the news in the meantime till we get things rolling there. We've got Minnesota. Green Swan says, what happened with Higher Love? Nothing to my knowledge. Hopefully everything's okay there. Randy's in the house. What's up, Randy? Thanks for stopping out, my man. So it looks like South Dakota is going to get a chance to vote on it. Minnesota, quick update on them while we wait for Ashley. It says Minnesota cannabis regulators destroy hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of illegally sold hemp flower. Oh boy, this must be their THCA, I'm going to guess. According to numbers released by the Office of Cannabis Management, inspectors have confiscated and destroyed 12,094 units of flowers, such as bags, jars, or pre-rolled joints, with an estimated retail value of $278,000. That was taken from 58 different retail locations and amounted to nearly 73 pounds of raw cannabis. Holy shit, Nikes. Tristan's in the house. What's going on, my man? Thanks for swinging by. Appreciate it. If the confiscated products have likely been illegal under both the 2022 hemp derived products law and the 2023 recreational cannabis law that they have in Minnesota, why did it take this long for the state to crack down? Blaming an inadvertent gap in the 2023 law. Da, 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 da. Okay, so yeah, they're still trying to figure out THCA in Minnesota. As you can imagine, I'm sure they've got legal cannabis companies coming down on THCA pretty hard over there. Would be my assumption as to why it's happening. It says because of the regulation gap, retailers would tell inspectors the products for sale in their stores are illegal hemp, and the same inspectors did not have the authority to take samples for testing. Oh man, yeah, that got messy over there. Earlier this year, found that the flower for sale exceeded the THC concentration levels that define hemp and was in fact high potency cannabis. So sounds like they have Minnesota's got it going on. Wisconsin lawmakers are probably keeping an eye on that, and we should too. We'll stay tuned to that. Without further ado, instead of just me here, which is probably a little boring at times, we've got Bubbles in the house. Bubbles. Oh, I wish I had a bubbler noise like on a soundboard when I bring you in. Here's Bubbles. It's Bubbles. Take it off the bubbler. How's it going?
Yes, Bobby Beans, you definitely need a little bubbler action.
That would be awesome. Not that Stundin glass or whatever though. That thing will mess you up, boys. Don't mess with that thing. I'm not even kidding. How's it going today, Ashley? How are things over on the farm? And anything new with you? Anything new and exciting?
Oh my gosh, I have to get my third wind here today. We did some epic planting today. Some in the rain, some we were able to do when the sun was out, but it was wild.
Fair
Bobby
enough. Fair enough. I got grass seed down today. Not quite as fun,
Oh,
uh, but doing some of my stuff out there. How big how many plants are we shooting for this year? I know I'm sure you didn't count each seed one at a time, but what are you guys usually rocking over there?
oh my gosh. Every season is different depending on the needs and what we're trying to grow. This year is super exciting because we're really setting down some solid roots on the land. I'm experimenting with electroculture, gardening, uh, verma, composting with worms, and we're doing some raised beds, some appeasing landscaping using the hemp plants
Hmm.
with flowers and herbs, thrillers, spillas, and chillas, I think is the the thing. And lots of so that's what I got in the ground today. I mean, I think I had like 15 rows of potato and like 9 rows of onions, and they're pretty big
Let's
rows.
go. Sure. Yeah, I can imagine.
Pumpkins.
Not like in my backyard.
Oh my gosh. No, yeah, we got the whole field to work with. And we had the topsoil and compost delivered. So I was able to work that in. But one thing I'm like super excited about, Bobby Beans, is like mushrooms. And
I've been
we
seeing a lot of
picked
that.
up on some, yeah, like mushrooms are it. I feel like if we can mix the flora with the fungi, and those two kingdoms merge together, it would be the ultimate therapeutic benefit. And so I picked up on some spent, which means like kind of used, not as productive mycelium blocks that were used to grow with like sterilized sawdust. And I kind of broke that all up and worked that into my soil. So I'm really
Oh wow.
establishing such a wonderful new work
Sure.
for the herbs, the vegetables, the hemp, everything alike. So I'm really excited. You
Growing
have to
it
stay
all.
tuned to see the
What is
results.
I've heard of hydro grow, but what's electro? What do you got to run this thing to like a 110 outlet or what is how what's that? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I'm so excited. So it's working with copper, and copper in your
Really?
garden is huge. It's so amazing. We actually, so I got copper wire. and copper tubing or piping that you would use for, electrical work.
Yeah.
And I wrapped the wire around the copper and connected all the and buried the wire underground, so all the pipes are connected in the 7 raised beds that I have. And the electroculture is really important because it actually captures electrons in the air and that energy that's in the air, because everything is energy,
Yeah.
and it grounds that down into your really supposed to increase your yields anywhere from 100% to 300%
What the
increase in
hell?
yields.
Okay, I gotta look into that. That's cool. Interesting.
Google it.
All right.
It's a whole vibe. It is a whole church out
I,
there. People that
I,
are really, really into it. And I've just always been really connected with working with all the elements, especially copper, for my own personal reasons. So I'm really excited
sure.
to see those are the
Well,
plants,
very cool. No, very
babies.
cool. Very cool.
Hmm.
And we'll have to figure out. I'm thinking. I think next week I'll be down in Mass. I definitely would like to stop out at the farm, see if you can put me to use for a little bit and teach me some stuff. So we'll have to touch base on that front. I'm glad you got things rocking and rolling, though. Been keeping an eye on you guys over there. And excited about tonight's conversation. We're going to be deep diving on CBD. I feel like we're probably on the same page on CBD, which is sometimes people sleep on it, but I feel like, especially for like the medicinal purposes, CBD is, the savior. Um, Excited to hone in on CBD. Did you have anywhere specific you wanted to start? I've made a couple lists of questions, but there's so much about it. Where would you like to start, Ash?
Yeah, I think there's just so much information out there and so many different brands and options and ways to consume. People get a little confused, and if it's a beginner, someone who's CBD curious, they don't really know where to start. And it's kind of cool because I am involved in farmers markets where I get face to face interaction with my community members, and they're able to ask their questions and get them answered way on the spot, called motivational interviewing, to kind of see, what they can really incorporate into their daily lifestyle, because I feel like that's where people are going to get the max benefit from using this plant is using it on a regular basis as like a supplement per se, so you can achieve more of an even keel or balance or homeostasis as the cannabinoids can deliver. So I feel like a lot of my biggest thing that I hear is people are like, oh, well, it didn't work. And I'm like, well, tell me how you used it. Like, how often did you use it? How much did you use? And I feel like so many times people don't even know what their dosing is. So
Sure.
it just blows my mind. Like, we're really conceptualizing this plant as medicine, which it is,
Right.
why wouldn't you know what you're using? Like, do you just take a whole bottle of Tylenol and down it and cross your fingers and hope for the best? Like, no,
Sure.
absolutely not. It would be expect that, for hemp, of not knowing how much they're taking. So I feel like it's just such a need to educate the consumers on the different types of cannabinoids, the different ways of consumption, the effects, the duration, all of that. So it's a lot to cover, Bobby Beans. I don't know
No,
where
you're
should.
good. We'll chop it up. We'll chop it up real quick. Wally had a question. He said, and I just wanted you to, yeah, you'll know where this goes. He says, "See, now I was told I shouldn't." Oh, Ashley popped off. Literally popped. Oh, she's back though. She's back.
I
Oh, you're
did
good.
hear some outside, some lightning and thunder.
Oh
Woo!
gosh, watch out,
Oh,
folks. And I saw Max was getting. Yeah, there must be something coming because Max is on alert. Wally says, "See, now I was told I shouldn't use CBD no more because it made me fail my drug test." There's different types of CBD. Maybe we start there as far as what's available.
yeah, Wally, that's an excellent point. So I just wanted to really like drive home the fact that, with hemp being compliant, it is 0.3% delta 9 THC. So that is like less than a percent. Okay. So like one part out of 100, and that's even less. It is zero point 0.3. So the reason why, I can never make any medical claims or, guarantee that you would not fail your drug test. unless you were using a broad spectrum, which I can elaborate on that. But the reason why, you have to put that disclaimer out there of, hey, it does have some trace amounts of THC in there, is because after I sell you the oil or the tincture or the flower or whatever it is made, know how you're using it. It's out of my hands. So I don't know if these people are drinking the oil or what to fail the drug test. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they're smoking the whole half in one night. Like maybe you might fail a drug test. I mean, if you take things to extremes in that nature. But I think generally it would be safe in the danger zone of failing a drug test. Generally, again, I don't know how actively they're using it. But just putting it in perspective, like you could literally like smoke my whole field and not get high, not catch a buzz. And I don't know how that would stack with that 0.3% THC and how, much that would build up in your system. But there is products out there where you could absolutely 100% not fail a drug test and still get all of the benefits from the plant. One that comes to top of mind for me is a broad spectrum. So the difference between a full spectrum and a broad spectrum is full spectrum has all the cannabinoids that are available in the plant. And that's over 100. I think, last it was like 113 and counting, and they're still discovering them. So that's your full spectrum oil that you could find out there. All the cannabinoids, all 100 plus cannabinoids. By utilizing the full spectrum oils, you're really playing into the plant synergy of the energy is creating a synergy and they called it the entourage effect. We're better together, whole plant medicine kind of notion. And spectrum option, which is still all the cannabinoids, all 100 plus cannabinoids available in the plant, just minus the THC. So it is most products should be, and you should definitely, verify a certificate of analysis or a COA to make proof that this is the claim that is 0.0% THC. And how they do that in the lab is they will isolate that single cannabinoid, the THC, and extract that from the extract, from the distillate. So they just treat it as one, like how they would singly extract CBG or CBN. Same with the THC. So they'll take that out, and that's why sometimes they're a little bit more expensive, because it takes another step process in the lab. So most definitely, you're still getting the whole plant synergy, but you're just able to not have any fear, doubt, or worry that you would fail your drug test if the fact is that you're getting stringently drug test for the position that you're working.
Nope, agree. And I
Does that
think
make sense?
it does, because there's just a lot of combos of products out there. So I feel like, yeah, you definitely got to be talking to, I would be buying from somebody I know, like a shop or a store like yourself, somebody who makes the CBD, just because so many things have all the different cannabinoids and stuff in them. And just like Delta 8 gummies are sometimes half CBD, or like you really want to know what you're consuming. So when it comes to consuming, if you want to be the safest, it would be the broad spectrum, so that like Ashley's saying, there's no THC. And what would you say is the biggest difference between, or I'm sorry, I'm trying to rephrase the question that they asked here. What are the main benefits of CBD that you've observed or experienced from people using your products?
I feel like to really break it down for people and keep it as simple as possible, pain, sleep, or mood are the three most common reasons that the everyday person would be using hemp. Pain, sleep, and mood. And I could kind of get into the science. Do you want me to do that, Bobby Bean?
Yeah, let's do a little science talk. I'm down for science talk. Excuse me.
It's backed by research. That's why I love the science. And it's kind of crazy because I actually am in, for those, I know, Bobby Bean, you know this, but I am enrolled in the American College of Healthcare Sciences. Actually, at the end of August, I will have my master's degree in herbalism. And because of my continued education there, I had the opportunity to write a literature review, and I chose to do the interworkings of the endocannabinoid system. And I
Oh
totally
shit.
nerded out on all the science and the clinical research and the studies out there. Mind you, this has been, all vertebrate species has an endocannabinoid system. And I mean, how often do you get it, Bobby, that people don't even, they're not aware fully of an ECS or even what an endocannabinoid system is? Do you run into that often?
Yep. Oh yeah. That's one of the, especially the people that I would say the consumers are becoming more aware. The education definitely seems to be going up, especially some of the stores out there, dispensaries, that kind of stuff, seem to really be in tune with the educational part. But especially the either people who haven't tried cannabis before, or the people who think it's like this terrible drug. A lot of times I ask them if they know about the ECS, and they're like, "No, why does that have to do anything?" And I'm like, "Glad you asked," and then kind of get into it. But
I think it is like the best kept secret of all time. It just blows my mind that, I'm in anatomy and physiology classes and they're talking about all of our other systems, our bodily systems out there. You know them all, from your brain
right,
function to digestion, your thyroid, and your reproduction. And here we have our endocannabinoid system, which is the master conductor of all of our other operating systems. And it has like it's mentioned, but it's like a wee little bit of like a page in like this thick, small letters. And it just blows my mind. Like, and I know we're getting there, and I know we have a lot of work to do. And that, and that's why we're here. But it's just, this was the endocannabinoid system was discovered in like 1940, I believe. I could, specifically look up the exact date, but it was quite some time ago. The ECS was discovered, and from the endocannabinoid system, it's pretty wild because we have CB1 and CB2 receptors that those CB1 and CB. So that's really cool. When I think of like plants and plant energy and like a root system and how roots work, and their the and mycelium network, and how the mycelium is kind of the communicator for all the different the fauna going in the earth.
true.
I kind of think of it like your ECS, like it's like your nervous system kind of, but receptors that are like, hey, I need a little help over here, or hey, I need a little help, extra little bit over here. And it all communicates throughout your body to bring out balance. And it's like a lock and key method. So the
Right.
cannabinoids are the key, and the receptors are the lock, and they fit perfectly into there, which helps bring out this balance for your all your other operating systems. So
It's
I'm
kind of
so
like
passionate. What's that?
the how to I think it was I'm trying to remember when if the way that I had best described it or found that people really kind of understood. I can't remember if it was a keyboard or a dashboard. I was kind of like it, you still got to push a button but no, maybe it was the dashboard. Like it knows what you need. It runs the show. You kind of just sit there in the driver's seat, and the endocannabinoid system is quite literally everything that that makes everything move inside of you, and connects all the dots essentially. One thing when we're talking about that, because kind of like we touched on earlier, you'll have people that try CBD and it doesn't seem to work, or that kind of thing. One thing I noticed a lot is when people would come in to look at products, especially when they're first trying CBD, they tend to go with the lower dosage. So I think it can get confusing for people that a lot of times you'll see tincture bottles that are the same size, right? So they contain the same amount of liquid, but typically people offer like a 500 milligram bottle, a 1500, and all the way up to usually 3000 and that. Um, what has been your best take on like how to find your dosage? Do you have about a size that you recommend? Do you What's like the best way to, because like we talked about, it's essentially not, oh, it didn't work for me. It's trying to find that sweet spot. What works best for you as far as trying to get education to the folks trying it.
Well, everybody is different. So it's
Right.
really, uh, being in tune with your body. And I feel like if you listen to your body and trust your intuition, you will know. Like I feel like some people that have taken too much like feel kind of jittery is what I've heard. They're kind of like wired and it's their body being like too much. And the people that don't feel it, well, they took too little. I kind of have to laugh because some people will be like, I use the oil. Oh yeah. And I'm like, well, how much did you use? They're like a drop. And I'm like, a drop or like a dropper full? And they're
Right.
like, no, I was told to take a drop. And I'm like, well, depending on the milligrams in your bottle, you probably got like what, 2 milligrams? I don't know.
Right.
So really being mindful of how much you're taking so then you can adjust as necessary. And, I feel like the average person would start from anywhere between 10 and 20 milligrams. If you're like a cannabis novice, and you just want to use it for as like a proactive approach to health, there's no like disease or you know um, a serious ailment, cancer, something that you're treating or trying to, get off prescription medicine and replace that with hemp. If it's nothing like more serious, I feel like starting low and slow is always the best way, because cannabis, is also on a bell curve. So if you start off your dose really high and you're like, yeah, I feel good. I love this vibe. I love how it makes me feel, like that's awesome. But you're going to have to consistently use that. If not, keep increasing it over time. And that's what CBD gets a little rough because CBD is like the brakes and THC is like the gas.
Right.
So, that's when would then incorporate a little THC into the regimen so they can go back to where they need to be, or not use it for a week or so, which is not an option for most people or some people that are using it for their serious ailments. So I feel like starting low and slow, so you can keep your threshold low for as long as you can, and then you can gradually increase as you go. But it all just depends on the person and kind of their reason why they're using it. I know that 20 to 40 milligrams is a really good sweet spot for a lot of people. And I know some people will even mix it up throughout the day to use it in the morning, a little bit in the morning, and then a little bit at night. Maybe some people like to use it after, before lunch. It really just depends
Sure.
on your why and when. Obviously, people that need it for sleep are taking it a half an hour before bed so they can, digest that and run that through. But I would say like the max that people would not want to take over is 80 milligrams. People that say they use more than 80 milligrams, I just question what they're using and the if that is for real, like the dose that they're taking. This stuff on Amazon, like it's like
Sure.
1 million milligrams for
I see a
dollars, and I'm
few of
like,
that.
what?
Right. Well, and
So yeah,
actually, I I haven't been into a location to, or I haven't looked at the pricing of CBD, but in the last little while here. But is it? I feel like good CBD is not dirt cheap. Is that correct, or has it really
no,
come down in price? Like I
no,
feel
good
like
CBD is paid for, as with
yeah,
anything in.
sure,
There is better than others, but generally it is more expensive because it is so concentrated. We sell 1,200 milligrams of our full spectrum for $70, and I feel like that's a really fair price. I feel like that's even on the less expensive end, and I'm able to do that because you're sourcing it direct from the farmer. I'm not,
sure.
paying, uh, other
Yeah, it's
distributors
not
to
right going
and
around the U.S. and back. Sure.
and
So
I feel that people knew like the energy that went into delivering from a farmer's perspective, the energy that goes into delivering that final product, I feel like they're getting a smoking deal even at that. And if you use it wisely and keep that threshold down, that 12 bottle could potentially be a 2-month supply if you're taking 20 milligrams a day, with on average 30 days in a month. So we're talking $35 a month is the investment for you to bring out more balance and a great vibe in your life. I mean, for me, I spend that on a night out at Subway. So like for me, it's
That's
cheap.
awesome.
But I mean, you definitely get what you pay for, and you want to do your research and know where you're sourcing it from.
100%. Yeah, I think just like people new to THC, I think with CBD as well, it can be on your phone, so it doesn't necessarily have to be a pen and paper journal. But yeah, you want to watch your dosage. It might take you a couple days, but it's worth finding the dosage because just like with cannabis, whether it's THC or whatnot, I feel like for me, there's it's about a third of a dropper of CBD CBN, and I'm out like a light where like 2/3 I'm out like a light, but it also helps more with my back pain. So it's a lot of kind of finding your dosage, but taking the time to do that is key because otherwise you could be, going through a lot of product or not finding that point. You really need to, if we just rely on, oh, I think I took half yesterday, I'll take a little more, you got to find the sweet spot essentially, and taking the time to do
Yeah.
that. Real quick, switching. Or Philip has a comment. He says, "Where do you think we need to go as a state? Are you hopeful that the USDA, FDA will allow you to keep operating?" There's been a lot of talk in the news on different topics. Did you have any input on that one?
Woof. Okay, hold on, Philip. Before I move on to this, because this is like a totally different topic for legality. Let's legalize. I just wanted to say too. People are like, well, how long should I take this? How long should I give it? The good old college try. And I would say some people it's up to a month.
Sure.
Using like a full bottle before they're gonna feel that max benefit. And a lot of the times, it's when you stop using it that they'll notice. Oh man, like, my back hurts a little bit more. Geez, I didn't get as much sleep last night. Or, they're gonna. It's like with that month try. It's what you don't feel, because I feel like people with this plant are their expectations are that um, it's the psychoactive effect, right? And don't
Right.
have that psychoactive, that immediate like head high, then you're like, oh, well, it's not working. I don't feel anything. But it's if you give it through a length of time, you can really allow the plant to do its magic, do its work, and really maintain that homeostasis within your body. So I feel like really giving it as in a month try. And also I wanted to put an analogy out there. I heard this, my friend Kelly time, put this in perspective for me. She's like, well, you wouldn't eat one banana or use anything once and expect to feel, vitality and feel awesome from having one banana. No, we know this not to be true. We know that we must consistently eat a banana over maybe a month's time to really feel that max benefit of eating the fruit, eating the banana. So I feel like that people should bring that back to this. The plant medicine in general, herbs in general, are not it's not a magic pill. The magic
Sure.
pill does not exist, and
That's a
it
good
is
point.
not. It's not a magic pill. So don't go into it having those unrealistic expectations of a natural way of medicine.
That's a really good
Just
point because that's something that I've been talking CBD and hemp for a couple of years now, and I feel like I've tried to tell that to people, but without fully understanding that myself. As far as I love that banana comparison or that kind of thing, that's really spot on. Shout out to Kelly for bringing us that little dose of smarts. That's very good. I will remember that because I struggle to explain that to some people and even to understand it sometimes. But that makes a lot of sense.
yeah,
All
it
the sets
I
consistency is the key. Yep.
all of that consistency is key. And
Yep.
also, in my studies, sorry, I will get to Philip's question. I totally will. I love this. I love.
You're good.
Um, oh shoot, I lost it. Oh,
Your studies. Something about your studies.
oh. There is. So you're familiar with the placebo effect, right?
Yep. Hmm.
Where if we're told this is what we're taking, it's supposed to work. Our mind is so great, so powerful. If we believe that, gosh darn it, it's gonna work. But for the skeptics out there that go into hemp as a last resort. And in their mind is, and you can tell these people when I'm selling to these people or when I'm talking with them, their mind's already made up that this is not going to work. It's not aligning with them, but they want to give it a try anyways because they're desperate for help. If you don't believe in the plant, it's and believe in the potential and the powers and what it can do for you, it can almost have a nocebo effect. So even though it might be working and it is indeed helping, because it is, again, science backed by clinical studies and in scholarly research, if you tell yourself it's not working, it's not going to work, it can't, there's no way, and you're stuck in that frame of mind, it won't work for you. And that is the nocebo effect. So I just found that so interesting in my, like, I'm like, I didn't even know that was a thing. Like, I heard of placebo, but I've never heard of nocebo.
Well, and it
And
makes sense when we're talking
how
about this.
strong, powerful your mind
Yeah, when
is
we're
and
talking
what.
about because we're dealing with the basically like the control module that controls everything in us. So yeah, I feel like that's I'm not a doctor or any kind of a true really good researcher, but it just makes sense to me that there's so many things that we can't explain that I could definitely see that being a thing. Nocebo, I like that. So gotta add a lot of terms and sentences to my jargon this evening. So appreciate that.
Yeah, right on. Philip's question. Sorry, what
Oh yeah.
it was?
Uh,
Can you
where
bring
do
that?
you?
Oh, uh,
Yep.
what was the state? Honestly, Bobby Beans, when we started growing in 2019, I would have probably put money on it that this would have been legalized already. When
Right.
when you think that Colorado has been legal since 2008. Okay, that's how many years ago? Fully legalized, recreational. You're allowed to grow it. You can, have it in your yard just like mint. Free the plant. That's where it needs to go. I
Right.
feel like this is becoming into some weird conspiracy theory that if you follow the money, you will find your answers as to why. And when we're talking about the pill bill and what that all entailed, giving processors all of the power and the state full control to regulate and not allowing people to be able to grow it in their garden. That's so infuriating to me. And I'm to the point now where I'm starting to get, see, my blood's getting a little warmer, Bobby Bays. I'm
Yep.
about this because there is no gosh darn good reason to have this pot scheduled as it is and classified as it is. Free the plant. It is a plant. And you want to know what? If it wasn't for the underground system of it, of people, anyone being able to grow the street market, and you don't know who Joe Schmo is, what nutrients, what fertilizers he's using, what environmental conditions. It's got to be indoor, right? Because it's sneaky deaky. It's not sun grown organic. How the good man in himself intended it to be. If you're putting this plant under all that stress and all those different additives, even if you did this to a banana tree, if you stressed it out like that, you would have a mutant banana tree. Okay, the same
Yeah.
thing is happening with hemp, you know, and not regulated. So I feel like these strange highs and these undesirable effects that they're getting from street cannabis is because of how it's grown in the environment. You're a product of your environment every single time. And we need to get a good system that allows people to grow their own medicine because, gosh darn it, it's an herb. It's the queen herb, but it's an herb just like any other, like mint, basil, thyme, oregano, you name it. It's the same as all of that. And there's even herbs out there that are questionable too of their effects when you use them in certain type of ways. So I feel like why we've picked on cannabis for this long, enough is enough. I've had it. Like the logic doesn't even make sense anymore. What is the logic? What is the legal premise of why they are continuing to hold on to this illegal this legal status of this poor plant? I can't even wrap my head around it anymore. I can't fathom it. All I can think it's because of control and big pharma and wanting people to rely on that medicine. And sure, maybe that medicine is, you know, it's mostly derived from plants, right? But
Right.
it's more controlled and which people need for dosing. But I feel like people need to wake up and, take matters into their own hands and really, I feel like someone said to me, you got to do what you got to do to feed your family, and how you feed your family is on you. So I feel like, hemp isn't really hard to obtain a license to. You just cannot be a felon. People should be taking advantage, and it's free as well. So grow your own. Grow your own and jump through a couple of hoops, because you will never look back and say, I wish I didn't do that. Honestly.
That's a good point. It's a very good point. I got my grower's license, so it can be done. I just started an indoor grow, um, and yeah, it's a plant. Well, indoor, outdoor, but yeah, outdoor. I get what you're saying. That totally makes sense with the plant. And actually, Buddha says he's literally moving tomorrow to Minnesota so he can grow legally. Um, yeah, that's crazy, man. Um, I did see that too, Waldo, that they're looking at eliminating the felony ban on hemp growers. I think that would be a smart move. Um, but again, my question is always that's what they say, but what are the details of it? Because maybe they'll do that, but then they're going to raise the price, or who knows? I feel like there's just always ulterior motives when it comes to anything cannabis. So we'll see, but it would make sense to, in my opinion, to get rid of that. Had another question here on are there any common misconceptions about CBD that you would like to address?
I think we've kind of talked about a couple of them here. That it's this magic pill, like it's a one and done. You use it one time and it's gonna work. Also, hemp. I feel like still people, because it is part of the Cannabaceae family, people still think it's gonna get you high. It
Right.
does not. I say it's a vibe, not a high. So,
There you go.
um, also, yeah, magic pill, one and done. It's gonna work. Absolutely not. Um,
What about someone was asking, so like if oil works, will edible work too, or topicals, or have you noticed people that specifically find more central relief? Like I'm pretty sure I had a few customers that like the topical on a certain spot seemed to work best. Is there a different, or you'd be a little more knowledgeable on that side of thing as far as the different types of CBD products that are available? And who knows, you probably got something really crazy I never heard of yet. So let's hear what you got. Like a soup can you open, or maybe like a Crystal Light packet. What do you got? What do you got?
well, I Reiki charge all of our products. So, I mean, everything is energy. I really infuse a lot of love and high vibrations in all of the products. And I think I feel like that's why people I love our products and keep coming back again and again and again and telling me how awesome they work, because everything is energy. So I infuse that into when we have happy plants, we have sun grown organic plants that are in the beautiful soil, agricultural Wisconsin, here in the Kettle Hills, in Farmington. And it's just wonderful. We sing to them, we dance with them. It is amazing. So just the energy there is awesome. I can't say that for all of the indoor plants that are out there. I mean, geez,
Sure.
talk about plants. I mean, like, my goodness, I don't think that's how, any herbs should be grown in that kind of like factory setting. But there's definitely different ways to consume. So when people ask me, what should I but how will it work? Like, how should I consume this? Well, how do you want to consume? What can you see yourself using every day? Are you used to taking a pill? Do you have pills that you take every day? Well, then there's soft gels for that. Do you have a skin condition that you want to treat? Then use your topical, but maybe use an oil as well to heal yourself from the inside out. Um, I feel like I break up consumption into four different categories, and that would be oils, topicals, edibles, and smokables, all of which have different onsets and durations. So it's really like the motivation of why people are using the cannabis plant. Um,
Mhm.
so I know a lot of people it might smoke cannabis because the effects are immediate. when you smoke something, it goes directly into your bloodstream. So you are going to feel those effects like that. So if I woke up in the middle of the night and I want to go back to bed, I'm going to take a little puff from my jiggity joint, and maybe it's indica forward. It has that terpene profile, which it gets a little sketch out there nowadays, Bobby Beans, by the way. I feel
Yeah,
like every with the cross pollination and how it's impossible to have like a true indica, a true sativa. I think that's kind of like the old school way of thinking about the plant. Now they're going into more type 1, type 2, type 3, depending on whether it's CBD or full THC or type 2 is somewhere in the middle.
sure.
So take a little quick puff, and your receptors will do the work of where they need that medicine to go to bring out that homeostasis, put you back to bed. Or in the morning, if you want to feel a little bit energized, you might smoke, so you get, you might calm your nerves a little bit. Or if you're having a big interview or something that you need to like chill out for, but don't want to be high or have any psychoactive effects, CBD works great for that. So that's why people smoke, but it doesn't last forever, right? Like
Right.
it goes through your bloodstream rather quickly. So you're finding yourself to smoke every couple hours to achieve those desired effects. So keep those joints handy. We got Slims in a tin for that. And then I feel like edibles are a great way to consume, because anybody can eat an edible, right? Like they're so
It's hard to mess that up.
I'm like, oh yeah, chocolates for sure. Brownies up. Cupcakes from Kelly's Greens. I think so. Like, yes, yes, and yes. But know your dose and what your edible, how much you're taking. And always, always, always never, unless you have eaten it before and it's tried or true, all less is more. So I always say eat half of the edible. Even if you say, look at the packaging and say, oh, it doesn't say it has that much. Like, you don't know that, because the census industry is so regulated. Until you experience it for yourself, please do yourself a favor. And less is more. You can always eat more, but you can't uneat it. So I feel like a lot of people have bad experiences because they just ate too much. They put them to bed right away. They passed out, or they were wired and they were like couldn't go to sleep maybe like they wanted to, or I don't know, just undesirable effects are happening because they're not figuring out that correct dosage for themselves. So I feel like edibles are really approachable. I'd say they for like the novice kind of that, are just dabbling like, I do like the way this makes me feel. And yeah, I can eat a gummy. It tastes good. Let's party. Then edibles are great, but you have to digest them. So it has to go through the digestion process. And, they don't, with the dose, it might not last as long as you want it to either.
Sure.
Longer than the smokable, but here nor there. And then I feel like the topicals are great for people that have skin issues, or, sore necks, sore backs, sore joints, arthritis, eczema, psoriasis. I mean, I use our body balm is absolutely fire. It's like, whoa, how can I get this up? There we go.
I love the little roller.
It's one of our best sellers because it's so concentrated. It has 1,200 milligrams of cannabinoids in there, which is like whole next level insanity. Plus, we use essential oils from our other plant allies that elevate that healing process and really bring out a great plant energy that your people are really feeling. And there's menthol in there, so you get that icy hot sensation. But people, keep this in their gym bag or keep it in their purse, keep it with them, because it doesn't last as long. It's a topical, for crying out loud. Like, you got to keep putting it on. And probably once it's fully absorbed and you ramble on, you might have to put it on again. So yes, you have to repeat and keep putting it on every day and work it in your life. I love my topical. I love this on the back of my neck. I put it, that's where all my nerve endings are. So I use it in the morning and I just kind of like wake up and it stimulates all my nerve endings and my brain function. And I just feel like super focused and jacked about my day. But topicals, whereas the effects are instant and you feel them work right away, they don't last as long. So also, you'd have to use quite a bit. You don't really know your dose for your topical. Yes, this is really concentrated, but I can't be like, yes, I am absorbing through my basal layer exactly 20 milligrams. So you're not replacing medications with the topical. I think you should always use, an oil and a topical together. So like you're getting kind of, you can treat the problem area, treat the target area, and use the oil to kind of help bring out that balance heal yourself from the inside out. And that what leads me to the oils. I feel like the oils are fantastic. They're essentially the essence of the farm. So they're extracting all that cannabinoid goodness in a super concentrated extract. And we use a distillate, which is different from a crude oil because it is further refined. It goes through another process of refining the hemp. So it's not like super earthy. If you can kind of see there, it's really like clean and pure tasting. I've seen some oils from hell.
Yeah,
Like,
there's
they
some of
look like
those out there.
black and murky. And I'm like, use that every day? Like, you're committed. Like, good on you, but it doesn't have to be that way. It just really doesn't. So we go clean and pure and go through that extra extraction process to offer a premium product for our people. And that this way, you're going to put it sublingually or right under your tongue, just like that. And it has a meter dropper on there so you can kind of see, exactly how much you're taking, exactly how much you're dosing, which is uber important. You're going to put it on your tongue. And why you take it sublingually? Because it goes into your bloodstream faster that way. It has quicker absorption, is more bioavailable when you put it right
Bioavailability.
spot under your tongue. So that's why we take it sublingually and that's why I love the oil. People tend to shy away from the oil just because it is a commitment. Like, again, this is not a one and done. You're using this every day. I keep it right up by my other supplements that I use and take in the morning. And it's just like, it's second nature to me. It's out there. I see it. I remember to take it. But a lot of people aren't really good at doing this. And it gets kind of like, oh, commitment, like commitment is hard for some people.
Yeah, some
So
people with commitment issues out there.
so you gotta like work your way up to this. Once you're like really, you love your edibles, you love your topicals, and you're like all in. You're like, I love the Mary Jane. Then you're gonna commit to the oil. But if you really want to see some really good results and just go for it right away because you believe in the potential and the power of this plant and the healing it has to offer, go for the oil because you're gonna absorb it faster. It's most economical this way, especially when you get your dosing down, and you can kind of start low and slow with this. So we do offer a 1,200 milligram oil and then the 2,400 milligram. 2,400 milligram bottles, like shopping at Costco. You're just buying in bulk. It's double the price minus $10. But it's also people that have chronic illness or disease that are really gonna get a really good benefit from this. So
Ken was asking, have you had success with, he says he has bad arthritis and RA. Would that potentially help him? Because the meds his doctor prescribed didn't do anything.
Yeah, it's all an experiment out there, I feel like, with the doctor. I mean, we're so used to treat and prescribe. That's what they're trained to do. And like nowhere is anyone taught, any of these doctors have time. They did a study. They said when you go in a doctor's office, and this is fact and true, and you can fact check me on Google, you have 8 seconds of the doctor's time before they start. They think they know, and they're treat and prescribe. And normally the medication that they're prescribing, since they're single compounds or just one component, one chemical, one compound, it is not working. It doesn't have that synergy within your body. So it doesn't work. These prescriptions aren't working. Your body is so smart and so fascinating from every cell to your body, and they speak plants because you're coming from one of those that kingdom. That's why he created plants because they can work in synergy, and it's his gift for you to be able to work and use with those. And then when you start manipulating those and isolating those single compounds, they're not working with your other bodily systems like how plants would. So I feel like it's like, cancer and radiation, they're killing off every single cell around that whole entire, good, bad, or ugly. They're killing it all in that whole area to make sure they eradicate those cancer cells. Whereas when that's why people have people have had such great success working with plant medicine, whether it be hemp or ashwagandha or otherwise. Um, it's because the plants work with the other cells to actually rejuvenate, revitalize, and restore. So it's kind of crazy what the prescription medication, what pills do, and the science behind how a pill works, and only working with, and that's another thing too is that the pill might work for what they specifically prescribed it for, but we're so used to taking pills for pills because
Right.
all working with for that, it's affecting that. And now you're taking another pill because you have to help that problem that the pill. Yeah, yeah. So to go down, and that's what the natural naturopaths, what the holistic alternative style medicines can offer is working with your bodily systems to bring about that plant synergy. And really too, I kind of wanted, I know this is like a little like spiritual on like a whole nother spiritual level, Bobby Beans, but I'm on that level now. You really have to look at like the energy that goes into it and trust your intuition. So meeting with this doctor for the first time, I remember taking my daughter into a doctor, and my daughter had never been to this lady before. It was her first time seeing her. And right away, she's telling me that we need to take calcium pills. Like, we don't drink enough milk. We take these pills, and everything's going to be fine. And that's how they're wiring us to think. And I'm like, wait a minute. Like, you just met my daughter. Like, what? What? It was just so quick. It was like almost instant because that's how they're trained. It's just treat and prescribe. Whereas you really want to work with the whole body and as the whole person, and under motivational interviewing and wellness coaching, which I'm, really excited about and offering this to people as a consultant for with, is you have to treat each person as you are a whole person and you have all the answers. You are already enough. You know the answers. And it is the wellness coach is to be able to extract those answers from you by asking certain
Sure.
questions to get you to come to the realization of what is going to work for you. I could tell you all day long of yes, take this oil and yes, use this body balm and no, and I could sell you all of it. You can come with the whole entire complete collection, But if
Right.
you're use it, what good is it? So I feel like really people need to trust their instincts, trust their intuition, and trust themselves. Really, of being able to, have a come to Jesus moment of like what really is going to for you, what you can commit to, and take those small obtainable steps to be able to achieve your goals.
Bingo. I think that's yeah, that's powerful, and I think it makes a lot of sense. We have a couple questions real quick to catch up on. Waldo says, "Want to know if you grow any THCA flower?"
THCA is illegal to grow here in Wisconsin, but we have partner farms that we work with out of state. Thank you, whoever legislator made that. It's a bunch of bologna. Come on. Any retailer can sell the THCA, most of which are keeping most businesses afloat, right? By being able to
Yeah.
sell the gates and the THCA, but we can't grow it. What kind of crap is that? What, so much for the hemp pilot program.
Right. I agree. And then we had what do
Wait,
we have?
Bob. The
Yeah.
THCA and CBD and the hemp compare. It looks the same. It smokes the same. It smells the same. It's just not the same. And who's regulating this show anyways? The FDA and the DEA can't get it together. So
No,
it's
they
like,
can't.
it's the wild, wild Midwest out here. So
Wow, Midwest.
it is.
Oh God, we need to get shirts made that say that. David says, "Can it? Do you have any? Or CBD can help with pets. Do you guys carry anything for pets?"
So, it's kind of crazy because all of our fur babies have an endocannabinoid system too. All vertebrate species do. So anything with a spinal cord. It's going to help your pets just how it would help you with pain, sleep, or mood. So yes, we do offer a pet oil, which I love to put on my fur babies' food. I just put it right on top of their food and they gobble it up and love it because we mix the hemp extract, the hemp distillate, with a wild Alaskan salmon oil, which
Ooh,
oil in and of itself is really good for your omegas. So
sure.
taking that is really good for joints and skin. Pair that with hemp extract, and you got yourself a super amazing. P.S. Oh, I want to show you guys my little Sam,
Oh,
my little friend. Okay.
oh, there I can see him. Oh, there we go.
Oh, there
If you
she.
if
This
you
is
watch,
Ruby. I
what is
just
it?
did
Ruby,
Ruby Dooby.
Ruby Dooby. Let's go. Welcome to the family, Ruby. She's a new rescue, correct?
Yes, she is.
Oh,
I
she
know.
looks like if you watch Will Trent on Hulu. I don't know how or why we had some time to watch a TV show and we came across Will Trent. I swear that dog is in it, and it's called. The dog's name is Betty, and they started a social media account for her and called her Betty the Batty. And yeah, it's kind of funny. So, yeah. But no, welcome to the family, Rudy. Rudy's got to be in paradise out there on the once the plants start coming up.
Oh my gosh.
No idea what she's in for.
Ruby was out there today and she was just loving it. Just being a dog off the leash, able to wander around. She got a little rained on, so she got a little chilly there, but she's we took her home, gave her a nice hot bath, and she's better
Awesome.
now.
Cool. I had everything I had jotted down as far as questions I've got answered. Did you have anything you would like to add, or did anyone in the comments have any other questions? We got the link to the website in the comments here. If you have any questions, make sure you reach out to the DNA Hemp page or to Ashley or Kelly. Or you could even send it to our page and we'll get you in touch with them. But yeah, you guys got anything else coming up? We got any yoga coming down? What kind of animals we got involved in yoga next, or what's
Oh, our
cracking?
partnership with the MKE Goat Yoga went swimmingly, and with the goats, um, the goat farmers as well. They're going to be coming back to our Harvest Hoedown
Oh, let's go.
14th. Mark your calendars. We're going to have food, music, and fun. You can check out the crop before the chop. The From Platinum Sky Farms, she's bringing a petting zoo, so family friendly. Bring out the kids, ground down. You could connect with the plant medicine, ask questions, and enjoy yourself. We kind of have like a music venue scene going, like Alpine Valley. We've got a hill, so people can chill on the hill, and in the
Let's go.
background, everybody's invited. So mark your
When
calendars.
was that?
September 14th.
Okay.
And we'll go on our website at dnahempllc.com and subscribe to our High Vibe Tribe. They will get emails on all of these happenings on the farm because we are just getting started. We've not come this far to be this far. I wanted to also drop a line about our mushroom foray that we're hosting out at the farm with Tavis Lynch. He is like dubbed as the Pharaoh of fungi. And
Okay.
are going to educate a little bit about mushrooms, regionalized here in Wisconsin and the Kettle Moraine. Then we are going to go out and forage for the mushrooms, in which he guarantees me that we'll find a plethora of different specimens and different fungi. And then we're going to head back to our home, our office space there, and cook them up for people. So you'll be able to eat them and have
Oh,
that
that's cool.
experience as well. So that's really
Very
really
cool.
cool. But I'm like really in tight. So it turns out that cannabis has really been the gateway to alternative holistic healing for me. And it started out just a passion for hemp and the plant and all of its intended purposes. And it turned out to be a whole different high vibing alternative healing from, you know, the Reiki and sound bowls and aromatherapy and herbalism, and which led to foraging and now mushrooms. So I feel like I'm really synced in and aligned with people, different practitioners that are sharing their gifts and offering these different healing modalities. And I'd love to have them all out to the farm where we can be amongst the plants and offer these different healing modalities. So I'm kind of excited to sync up with them and get a schedule going to what see fit for this summer season. I know next summer is going to be off the chain. So we'll be a little bit more established as far as the big projects, our root laying that we're doing right now. So, hey, the farm has come a really long way.
No, that's awesome to hear. You guys always keep it growing. I feel like nothing ever gets stagnant that you're involved with, and the community appreciates that. I would assume, because I know I do, and definitely keep me posted on some dates. Love to stop out there and keep you posted with what it looks like for me next week. We'd love to stop out by the farm, check it out, meet Rudy,
Ruby.
and Ruby.
Yep.
Okay, Ruby. That would make sense. She's even more precious than I thought. And yeah, greatly appreciate your time. Hope you guys have a great evening. Hopefully there's no too crazy big storms. Hopefully they passed over, and look forward to getting you on here again soon, Ashley.
Right on, Bobby Beans.
All right. Everybody have a great evening. Hey, absolutely. All right. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you back on Wednesday. Make sure you hit Ashley and DNA Hemp up with any of your questions, and we'll keep our eyes out on the calendar. We'll be sharing their events as they pop up. So, all right. Have a good night, everybody.
One love.